Good morning, students. Since we have completed our part 1, so let's begin with the part 2 of the story. Now, in part 1, we have learned that there was a very unusual and strange and very shrill sound coming from the window which frightened the cat and surprised the cousins, Mridu, Meena and Ravi. So, Ravi told that this is the sound by Lali, who is learning to play the violin. Now, let's go to part 2. Mridu crept up to the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring, her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. So, this is Lali is now learning the violin, but she is not able to hold the violin properly. Jutting out means striking out. While holding the violin, उसकी elbows बाहर को निकली हुई हैं. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure of the music master. He had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and an old-fashioned tuft. So, in these lines, the appearance of the music teacher is described. So, it is written that he has a bony figure, means he is quite thin, and he is bald head. And with he has a fringe. Fringe means a thin line of hair which is falling around his ears, and he has an old-fashioned tuft. Tuft means जैसे चोटी पीछे सिर के पीछे एक चोटी बना के रखते हैं. That is tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his old bordered veshti edge, and he was beating time on the floor with a scrawny big toe. So he was wearing a gold chain and a diamond ring which was shining. Gleamed means shining, glittered means shining. So they were shining as the music teacher was playing violin. A large foot stuck out from his veshti edge. Veshti is dhoti. Dhoti se ek foot, large foot दिख रहा था, and he was beating on the floor with the rhythm. जैसे जैसे rhythm हो रही थी, वैसे वैसे he was beating the foot. He played a few notes. Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference! So now, as you can see in the picture, this is the music teacher, and he has back towards the kids. And Lali, she is awkwardly not very comfortable with the violin. She's holding that violin, but she's not able to play the violin efficiently. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along, as Ravi said. So Ravi is comparing the music played by the music teacher like a train very smoothly running on the rails. Mridu stared at that huge bee-ringed hand moving effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music. Squawk! There was Lali derailing again. Derailing means going out of rhythm, out of track. So she is not following the rhythm and not following the music played by the music teacher. Amma! Came a wail from the gate. Amma! Oh! Ravi, send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda where she was chatting with Tapi. So, in the middle of this, there came a cry voice by the beggar, and he was crying, calling Amma. But Rukmani, she was not very happy. She told Ravi to send the beggar away. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from. Pati explained to Tapi. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. Now, as Amma had told Ravi to send the beggar out, so Ravi, Mridu and Meena, they went out to send the beggar back. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take the little snooze while he waited for the alms to appear. So, alms means the things or the food or the things given to the beggar. So, but beggar was was ready to settle there, and he spread his cloth. उसने अपना कपड़ा बिछाया under the neem tree, and he was leaning, और पेड़ की तरफ झुक के बैठ गया, just to take a little snooze. Snooze means a very short sleep. Go away, said Ravi sternly. My party says it's time you found another house to beg from. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last, in a voice choked with feeling. So the beggar, when he saw the kids, he just gazed. Gaze means एक टक देखना किसी को. वो देख रहा था बच्चों को, तीनों बच्चों को देख रहा था. And he told that the ladies of this house are very nice, are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. He raised his voice. Amma, Amma, oh! Sad his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth, and its few remaining teeth stained brown with beetle chewing. So this beggar, he was telling that these ladies of this house, they are very generous. Generous means when you are willing to give, जब आप अपनी इच्छा से देते हो, सबको help करते हो, that is generous. So he is saying, and while saying that, he again calls, Amma, please give me something. And his voice was bold, booming, but somewhere उसका जो stomach है, it was hungry, and उसके जैसे हमारे पेट में गुड़गुड़ होती है when we are hungry, that is known as rumble. So and it is also said that his teeth had brown stains. Beetle chewing means पान खाना. So पान खाता था वो, और उससे he had brown stains on his teeth. Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukmani, and he's not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. Fed up means frustrated. So Amma was quite frustrated with that beggar. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear under the neem tree. The beggar sat up and sighed. I'll go, he said wearily. Wearily means he was very tired, so he said he could hear everything. As Amma was loud, so he could hear everything, and he just said, Ki, don't worry, I'll just go. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. The sun is so hot, the tar has melted on the road. My feet are already blistered. So beggar said that I just want time to take rest under this neem tree because my feet is full of blisters. He stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals, Mridu whispered to Meena. Ravi, have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? So Mridu says that I think that we need to help this beggar since he doesn't have slippers. I don't know, said Ravi. Mine are too small to fit his feet, or I have given them to him, and his feet were larger than Mridu's and Meena's. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road gleaming in the afternoon heat. So he was just about to leave, and gleaming in the afternoon, shining, this road was shining since it was quite hot. He needs something on his feet. Meena said, her big eyes filling. It's not fair. Shh, said Ravi. I'm thinking about it. Blubbering, it's not fair, it's not fair. Isn't going to help. In 2 minutes, he'll be frying his feet on that road. What he needs is a pair of chappals. So, where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. He pushed Miru and Meena into the house. So these kids, they are really very kind. So they wanted to help the beggar. So they just moved inside the house to find the slippers of right size. Just as she stepped into the veranda, Mridu's eyes fell on the old-looking slippers she had noticed when she arrived. Ravi, she whispered to him, whose are those? So, as you can see in the picture also, the slippers were mentioned in the beginning of the stories, or in the beginning of the story also. So, same kind of slippers she again noticed. Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby-looking but sturdy old slippers. He beamed and noted, these are just the right size, he said, picking them up. Mridu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. So Ravi found the right slippers to the beggar. So he just took it and was ready to give it to the beggar. Here, said Ravi to the beggar, dropping the slippers in front of the old man. Wear these and don't come back. The beggar stared at the slippers, hurriedly flung his shawl over his shoulder, pushed his feet into them and left, muttering a blessing to the children. In a minute, he had vanished around the corner of the street. So beggar was quite happy that he got the slippers and he just muttered. Muttered means apne muh mein kuch bolna. He muttered a blessing to the children and he just vanished. Vanished means disappeared from there. The music master came out of the house and took an unappreciative look at the three of them sitting quietly under the tree playing marbles. Then he searched for his chappals in the veranda where he had put them. So just after that, music teacher, he also came outside and he just looked at the kids. They were playing there under the tree and he just started searching for his slippers. Lali, he called after a few minutes. She hurried up to him. Have you seen my slippers, my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here. Ravi, Mridu and Meena silently watched Lali and the music teacher search every corner of the veranda. He scurried around, looking over the railing and crouching near the flower pots to look between them. So they both started looking for the slippers. Scurried means running here and there with light steps. So वो इधर उधर देखते रहे वहाँ पे veranda में where he had kept the slippers. And crouching means sitting on your legs. जब हम legs के ऊपर ऐसे नीचे को बैठते हैं, like we are looking for something, that is known as crouching. Brand new they were. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them. He went on saying, they cost a whole month's fees. Do you know? So he's just telling Lali that they were brand new slippers and quite expensive also. Soon Lali went in to tell her mother. Rukmani appeared looking harassed with Pati following her. Where they could be, it's really quite upsetting to think someone might have stolen them. So many vendors come to the door. Worried Pati. Vendors means the street hawkers, you can say. So Amma is, Rukmani is quite suspicious. उसको थोड़ा शक हो रहा है कि यहाँ पे street hawkers भी आते रहते हैं. Vendors, they keep on coming here. So it might be stolen by somebody. Rukmani caught sight of Ravi, Mridu and Meena sitting under the tree. Have you children? She began, and then seeing they were curiously quiet, went on more slowly. Seen anyone lurking around the veranda? So lurking means आप जब किसी मौके की तलाश में एक चुपके से बैठ के कहीं देखते हो, that is lurking. So she's asking those kids, those who were playing there, कि have you seen somebody जो यहाँ पे कुछ देख रहा था, veranda में कुछ झांक रहा था. A sharp V-shaped line had formed between her eyebrows. Another straight, tighter one appeared in place of her usually soft, pleasant mouth. Rukmani was angry, thought Mridu with a shiver. She wouldn't be so upset if she knew about a poor beggar with sores on his feet, she tried to tell herself. So the kids, they could make out that Rukmani is not happy and quite angry with this. Mridu thought that if she comes to know that why they had given the slippers to the beggar, what was the condition of the beggar, then she might not be that angry. Taking a deep breath, she cried, Rukmani, there was a beggar here. Poor thing, he had such boils on his feet. So, said Rukmani grimly, turning to Ravi, you gave the music master's chappals to that old beggar who turns up here? Children these days, groaned Pati. So, Rukmani, when she got to know that Ravi has given the slippers to that beggar just to help him, she was not very happy. Amma, didn't you tell me about Karna, who gave away everything he had, even his gold earrings? He was so kind and generous. So, Karna is one of the characters in Mahabharata who was very generous and he had donated whatever he had. So, Ravi is reminding Amma that he had once told the story of Karna and about his generosity, that he had given his gold earrings and he was quite generous and kind. Silly, snapped Rukmani. Rukmani इसको डांट लगाती है. Karna didn't give away other people's things. He only gave away his own. But my chappals won't have fitted the beggar's feet. Ravi rushed bashfully on. And, Amma, if they did fit, would you really not have minded? So, again, Ravi replied that I had to give those slippers because मेरी जो slippers हैं उसका size beggar को fit नहीं आ रहा था, and if I would have given my slippers, अगर मैं अपने slippers देता तब भी आपको कुछ न कुछ आपको बुरा लगना था. Ravi, said Rukmani, very angry now. Go inside this minute. She hurried indoors and brought out Gopu Mama's hardly worn new slippers. These should fit you. Sir, please put these on. I'm so sorry. My son has been very naughty. The music teacher's eyes lit up. Lit up means since his slippers were quite old and now he has got new pair of slippers, so his eyes lit up means he got very happy with this new slippers. He put them on trying not to look too happy, but he did not show up that he is happy. Well, I suppose these will have to do. These days children have no respect for elders. What to do? A Hanuman incarnate. Incarnate means एक हनुमान का ही अवतार होते हैं आजकल के बच्चे, and these kids are today kids are very naughty and they have no respect for the elders. Only Rama can save such a naughty fellow. Rukmani's eyes flashed. She didn't seem to like Ravi being called a monkey, even a holy monkey. So after all, Rukmani is the mother, so everything is fine, but she didn't like music teacher calling Ravi a monkey, even a holy monkey. चाहे उसको हनुमान से compare किया, but Ravi's mother Rukmani didn't like it. She stood stiff and straight at the front door. It was clear she wanted him to leave quickly. So she showed it with her body language. Stood stiff means एकदम firm, एकदम सख्ती से खड़ी होगी, straight खड़ी होगी, and it was clear that she wanted the music teacher to leave now. When he had clattered off in his new slippers, she said, Mridu, come in and have some tiffin. Honestly, how do you children think of such things? Now, Rukmani, she is just calling Mridu in to have lunch. Thank God your Gopu Mama doesn't wear his chappals to work. As she walked towards the kitchen with Mridu and Meena, she suddenly began to laugh. तो अब Rukmani का mood अच्छा हो गया है, and she's just saying that thank God Gopu Mama जो slippers है वो ऑफिस नहीं ले जाते हैं, but he's always in such a hurry to throw off his shoes and socks and get into his chappals as soon as he comes home. What's your mama going to say this evening when I tell him I gave his chappals to the music teacher? So Rukmani is just wondering कि अब गोपू मामा शाम को when he will not see his slippers, how would he react? So this is the end of the lesson. With part 2 we have ended the lesson also. Thank you so much.